Hi guys, I'm back. Let's run again today. Let me choose 500 kilometers today. From Hanover to Luxemburg. Let's get going.
Let's do this.
Maybe it's evening. A little bit gloomy outside.
Turn left. Turn left. Keep right. Keep right. And then turn right. Turn right. Turn right.
Today I just stayed at home. Studied English and Chinese. I really want to go outside. For many days I haven't been outside. I don't remember what sunny sky was. It's been a long time. I watched the movie yesterday. The title of it was Avatar. Very famous movie. The more astonishing thing was that the movie was boring. Never thought that it can be boring. Because that movie was very famous.
Keep right. Keep right. And then exit right.
No. Something like
Exit right.
hero series that meets a heroine woman and they fall in love and defeat enemy and kissing in the last scene.
Go straight on. Go straight on.
No, everything was expectable. So I just used a little. That's why I think I prefer
Keep left. Keep left.
movie that I can think something rather than enjoying. I liked the movie Modern Times when I was young, directed by Charlie Chaplin. The movie gave me the topic to think ever since. I remember that I watched the movie when I was young with my father and all my family. It was impressive. Impressive in a way better than shocked me. Because it showed the outside world for an Asian boy. Now I faintly remember my childhood. I used to go outside and meet my friends playing soccer, memories just fade away these days. I can faintly remember them. And even some of my friends, I forgot the name. Maybe they have forgotten me too. The time is something like that disappears. Like that has never existed. What I think is that we only have present. There's no past. We only have present and future. Past is something like a concept, an imagination, something that we believe it has happened. If the past is never visible, what's the difference between past and novel? I mean fiction. When I think of my childhood, I feel like life is something very vain. Everybody tries to struggle to attain success or make an achievement or something. But everything finally vanishes into air, just like it has never happened. It has never existed before. I remember my middle school time. I was voted for the class leader because almost 60% of my classmates voted for me. And after that, my teacher cancelled the result because I was voted for making my students laugh.
Keep right, and then exit right.
I cracked a joke in front of the people. Still, they voted for me. The teacher got
Exit
so
right.
angry and cancelled it.
Go straight on. Keep
So
right.
even these days, I still think of my abortive election. Even after 13 years. This is very hard. Yeah, my childhood
Keep
memory.
left.
And I was quite popular at the time. I cracked lots of jokes in front of the people, and they like me. They hang out with me. I really love the moment. There was a romance in the time.
Go straight on.
It was a trip for me to play outside or play in internet cafeteria secretly.
Keep left, and then continue
And
straight
my
on.
Father and mother could never know that.
Go straight on.
One day, my father saw me that I was in internet cafeteria playing game, and he got so much angry. encouraged him.
Keep left, and then continue straight on.
That was the way I did.
Go straight on. Go straight on.
I didn't study at all because I thought it's unuseful.
Keep left, and then continue
Why should
straight
we
on.
waste our childhood for studying or something like that?
Go straight on.
We're just putting crafts in our brain. And that's what I thought. And I didn't study at all. My parents didn't like it because they wished I could answer the Seoul University, which is the best one in Korea, most prominent. Well, of course, I didn't make it.
Keep right, and then continue straight on.
So as a result, I went to the university in Busan,
Go straight on.
a foreign language university. Then I majored in Indonesian language. And I haven't graduated yet. And as I entered the university, I found another talent, that I'm quite good at languages. That's what I'm keep studying until these days. I've learned 6 foreign languages, and each language has its own story. For example, I started learning Italian because one of my seniors asked me to learn it when I was serving military duty. In Korea, the military senior's power is very absolute.
Go straight on.
I should have listened to his voice, even though it was absurd. He demanded me to learn it, so I learned it. Very absurd, but it's a true story. He said we should go to Europe together. He wanted to go to Italia, so he wanted me to learn Italian and become his guide, which is totally nonsense. That's why I started learning Italian, which is absurd. Probably I must be a better speaker in Italian than him now. And after learning it, I fell in love with that. Italian sounded great. Beautiful, romantic, and great. Because I could feel the scent of the Roman Empire, the descendants. And these days, the descendants of the Roman Empire are suffering from
Keep left,
the coronavirus.
and then continue straight on.
And that fact makes me sad.
Go straight on.
They should retrieve their honor in the past.
Go straight on.
I've spent 2 years in Malaysia, and it was good.
Keep right.
And the 2 years in Malaysia was quite different colored memory of mine. Because
Exit left.
Malaysia was a very different country to me that I've ever experienced. Islamic nation. The people who follow the rules of Allah. And actually I didn't like it though. At the time I had some kind of antagonism against their religion. But actually I should have not done that. Because I had no right. I had no right to have their religion in their country. Just like they cannot do anything in our country. Oh, how can I move? Okay. Let's get going again. And the food in Malaysia was quite delicious. I still remember them. And some of them unforgettable till now. And the people there were quite kind and lazy. The weather was very hot, especially at lunchtime, so that everyone at lunchtime was taking a nap. I've never experienced the ferocious sunshine like that. And today, I think the food in
Go straight
Malaysia
on.
were a lot healthier than in Korea. In Korea, there are many chemical ingredients in food. I feel it. I had no stomach problem when I was staying in Malaysia, while I'm suffering from it these days. And I'm also changed, just like the people here. For 2 years, I was so shiny, like Malaysian people. They had no worries in their mind. They were always smiling, laughing, joking, and being lazy. And then I came back to Korea. Koreans were so gloomy and preoccupied or something. I just don't know what's the big difference between two nations.
Go straight on.
Even though Korea is wealthier than Malaysia, I felt like Malaysia is a more advanced country. Not absolutely. In some ways, they're better. Going to the ocean and watch the gulls that fly overhead and play in the wave, feel the shiny sunshine. That's why life is beautiful. And I think a lot of people don't know that. They just try to be succeed, and they just try to be successful. They want to be famous. They want to be something. They want desire. They don't know what real life is. Life is something like coconut water. Coconut water is also sweet and sweet and blend, both. I mean intermediate sweet and intermediate blend. Yes, life is like coconut water. Sometimes we desire something. Sometimes we hope something. Sometimes we achieve it. Sometimes we get successful. But everything goes to nothing. Just like time vanishes into air.
Keep left, and then turn left.
Just like the little prince did.
Turn left.
Yeah,
Turn
how
left.
beautiful the creation itself.
Keep right, and then turn right. Turn right. Turn right.
Okay, it's finished. Is it done?
It's all over now.
Yeah. Yes. Backward. I think I finished this. Yeah, I just skipped this. Automatic parking. Well, I've earned 8,000 euros. Thank you for watching and see you next time.